Okay, that takes us to Student Spotlight with Mr. Butcher, I believe. There he is. So we have...
All right.
All right.
Good evening, Board of Education.
Good
Deputy
evening.
West. As always, we
we won't
appreciate the
deputy.
support and opportunity to share student work with you all here tonight. On the day I first met Meera Iyer, now an 8th grade student at Bolin Park Middle School, one thing became clear. She is a huge podcast fan. In fact, I bet there's no one else in this room who listens to as many podcasts as she does. So we're testing things out in the studio, microphones and such. We're talking. I asked her, what do you want to do? And you know she had some ideas. So one of them was to produce a podcast episode for the district about our instrumental music program encompassing grades 5 through 12. Sounds like a lot of work, right? Well, she did it anyway. The next thing I knew, this middle school student conducted a total of 10 separate interviews of students and teachers, resulting in 2.5 hours of recorded material that she would then proceed to spend the next 4 months combing through and scripting and weaving and editing until finally, what we had in front of us was what I think is simply the best creative project I have ever witnessed a middle school student produce. It is because of all the time she volunteered for this that we now have an incredible resource telling us about the student experience from our instrumental music program. How would we give her a hand for that? As I wrap up, 15 years ago this month, September of 2008, I started 8th grade here in the Troy School District, and that is when I first started uploading videos to YouTube. Listen to me, you're never going to see any of those videos, for good reason. When I reflect on the start of my own journey, and now today, 15 years later, I look at this 8th grade student standing next to me, I know I see the beginning of something really special. If she continues on this path, then great things lie ahead. Already at the age of 13, Meera has produced a work of audio storytelling on par with that of the wider podcast industry. And that is why, instead of being like me and hiding my old goofy 8th grade projects, we are here to celebrate something exceptional that this eighth grader has already accomplished. So congratulations, Meera. I'm excited for the years to come.
For a long time, Troy has placed an emphasis on the whole student, whether that be arts, sports, or other things. Performing arts have been a big part of the Troy School District for a long time. So what does this program offer? What is the lasting impact of music education on students and teachers? Hi, I'm Meera Iyer, and I sat down with students and teachers today to answer this question.
I'm Janie Sorensen. This is my 3rd year teaching in Troy schools. I teach 5th grade band for all 12 of our elementary schools. I really try to make my classroom a space where students can express themselves, and that's difficult to do as a 10-year-old on a saxophone that you don't know how to play. But I really think it's possible. They feel safe in my classes, and they are able to be silly.
My name is Rhiannon Tesselin, and I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade orchestra at Bolin Park Middle School. I feel like the goals change every year based on the groups that come in. I mean, obviously we want them to be, great musicians. We want them to understand musical literacy, terminology, blah, blah, blah. But I think really deep down, we want them to have an appreciation for music, whether that's in band, choir, orchestra, if they're in a drama class, some kind of appreciation for the fine arts, for performing arts, getting down to the base level. That's really what we're going for.
My name is Brian Nutting, Director of Bands at Troy High School.
This just came to me. I feel like I remember someone saying that Troy High has kind of shifted their mindset from being more of a competition band to now working on not doing that and playing and performing. Is that tied to relationships and the culture of the band?
You nailed it, yes. We don't aim to win more trophies because we have shelves and shelves of them. We don't aim to win more medals because the kids have plenty of those on an individual level. We aim to make every performance greater than the last, and as a result, we tend to win when we're in a competition setting or exceed the standards of many others by focusing on the right thing, which is individual growth and development and teamwork and community.
And thank you to everybody I interviewed, all the teachers and the students and people who are my friends. I truly was inspired by each and every one of you.
So that, of course, is just a 2-minute preview of the full episode, which you can find now on TSD World Class Podcast, about a half hour long, so it's worth the listen. It's great work. I want to give Meera an opportunity to say a few words, and then if there's any comments or questions, of course, as well. Thank you.
Uh-oh, didn't know that, did you? It's okay.
Well, I guess thank you to the Troy School District for giving me this opportunity, because I started listening to podcasts during COVID, and like I love listening to podcasts. Like it is my form of binging television, and so like I will binge podcasts. So I didn't think that it was possible, and then I walked into Creative Guild last year, and I just like saw that it could be possible for me to do this, and then like the whole experience of getting to interview teachers and go to Troy High and interview Mr. Nutting was really great, and I had a lot of fun doing this.
Was there anything that was harder than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, so in Mr. Butcher's audio file, the podcast said instrumental music, and it like had a dash that said Meera Iyer, and it said May 2023, yeah. And then that became June 2023, and then July 2023, and then in August we were like, August 2023, and then it became September, and then we're like, not October. So it took a lot more time than I anticipated, because it was like, the process was like, I had to go through all the interviews and I had to listen, and then I had to cut and then go back and do it all, like give notes on that. And so the editing process was much harder than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the most interesting person that you got to interview?
Mr. Nutting. Like the way he articulated things was just like so great. And like I think that the high school band program is really interesting, because I've seen a lot of people who really love Troy High's band program. So yeah, that was most interesting.
Okay, good. Any other questions for it?
Yeah, I had one. What areas do you want to go into when you are doing podcasts other than this music program?
So I think that the next podcast I want to do is like a true crime podcast, because I like true crime podcasts.
Okay, cool.
My last question for you is, what is the coolest podcast that nobody else knows about? That since you've listened to all of them, is there one that you'd recommend that no one, when you say, hey, have you listened to this, everyone goes, never heard of it? Is there one you really like that? Oh, there is, okay.
Well, there's one that made the charts.
Okay.
But then it like popped. I listened to Scamanda, and it's about this lady who like faked having cancer for 10 years. It's a true crime podcast, and it's like how there was this journalist who literally had to be like a stalker, and who was like put in court, and she literally it was insane. She had this journal about because Scamanda would write blog posts, and so she like would lie about her cancer in these blog posts. So she would have to comb through the blog posts, and she had like this thorough record book, and Amanda actually sued her, which you find out later, and then. But she was like protected by the press. It was really interesting.
Oh, okay. Okay, great, thank you. We have go ahead. Did someone have?
you're good.
We've got a certificate for you, so we'll come.
I love gardening, so when I'm pulling weeds. Pink.
Thank you.